This is the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla in the new Full Battle Rattle studios.
It's keeping Christ in Christmas and not allowing the politically correct people and the angry atheists, especially those who are armed with an attorney, tell us that Christ will not be a part of Christmas anymore.
The Christmas season is a time for family, and today's guest, just like Governor Palin, always puts faith and family first. He has an amazing family, too. Anthony Cioffi, a 4-year football starter at Rutgers, and now looking ahead to a possible pro career. Anthony joins us today to look back at his college career, look ahead at what's next, and discuss his amazing background. A Christian athlete and great man, Anthony Cioffi, is coming up. Plus, we'll have the latest national and Alaska headlines and Sarah Palin news. We'll visit the Crow's Nest with Tanya Crow in California. Also from the Golden State, Kelly Carlson is on target. The Millennial Forecast with Sarah Hagmeyer is on the way from New Jersey. And a brand new installment of Liberty and Legacy with Tamara Colbert from Texas. Welcome to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. The Palin Update is sponsored by Full Battle Rattle. Full Battle Rattle, helping veterans suffering from combat-related disabilities through the healing power of music. Learn more at facebook.com/Full Battle Rattle ABQ. He's the pride of Jonathan Dayton Regional High School in Springfield, New Jersey. A ball hawk at Rutgers University, and now possibly an NFL career ahead. Anthony Cioffi gets it done on and off the field, always putting faith and family first. We're thrilled to have him here with us today on the show. And right now we welcome Anthony Cioffi to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Anthony, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, a great career for you, unbelievable career really at Rutgers. You started at strong safety 3+ years for the Scarlet Knights, picked off 8 passes. You know, a team that didn't have a lot of success really over the years in football in recent history, and your team in 4 years, tough year this year, but you went to 2 bowl games over your career, even beat Michigan a couple of seasons ago. And
right.
Not only were you a ball hawk, but a guy that was, hard to get by even on an island there. 168 tackles for Anthony Cioffi. What was that experience like for you? Really, playing every day in one of the toughest positions in football nowadays, the secondary.
Right. It's first off, it's a blessing to be in that spot. Not many people could say that they started 4 years and contributed, but it's just it's something that I'm grateful for. And the 4 years went by way too fast, if you ask me. But it was a very exciting kind of journey as I grew up from a freshman to a senior now.
Well, it even went by fast, I think, for others. I mean, I know cards on the table. I'm friends with Anthony's uncle, the great restaurateur Joey Cioffi in New Jersey, and I've followed you all the way through him, and watching his exuberance and enthusiasm for you through the 4 years. And I think it went fast
right.
for everybody. Of course, we didn't have to run the wind sprints and get beat up every week like you did. So
the dirty work.
Thank goodness for that. But you really were fun to watch because we got a chance to watch you. And like I said, I always have a special place for the secondary because nowadays the rules on the college level and the NFL, they always hurt the defense. You're already outmanned in many ways, and here to play that position is a very tough position. You went up against some of the best teams in the country and some of the best wideouts in the country, and you came through.
Right.
What was that like for you when you had a game, say, against Michigan, a game that you pulled off a couple years ago, or when you played at these iconic stadiums that you watched on television as a young kid? What was that like getting ready for those types of games? Was it almost surreal?
Yeah, it was surreal. Before in the recruiting process, it was like a toss-up between Rutgers and Penn State. But just playing there in front of for instance, Penn State, 104,000 they had when we played them last year. It was just it was surreal because it's just you felt like the field was shaking when it was third down for our offense out there, and just like you look around and everyone's in sync. The fans are going nuts, and now also in Michigan too, the Big House. It was a great place to play, and also Ohio State. But all those teams, they have loyal fans who come out each week, no matter who they play, and they put out 100,000 plus.
And because of people like yourself, you made Rutgers a tough place to play, too. You had, I think the fan base really grew over these 4 years. Tough year this year, but, the last two, a couple of bowl games, a bowl victory. I mean, that's big stuff for the program, and you were a part of it.
Yeah, it was. There was, for instance, our first time in the Big Ten, the first season, when we had Michigan home and we won, it was that was probably the best atmosphere I played in as far as a home atmosphere since I've been there.
How about having your family so close? You said it was between Penn State and Rutgers, and knowing your family, they would have went to Penn State. Heck, they would have probably driven if you played for Arizona State. But but here you are at Rutgers, not too far. You got to have them there all the time, including like your little cousins and people that look up to you. The jerseys everywhere with your number on them. I mean, that had to be just great for you because you almost had still that high school type support, but on the big stage. But on the big stage, what was that like? Especially having your little cousins, be able to watch you.
Oh, it's huge because that's who I do it for. I do it for my family because they really pushed me to be the best I could be, not only in football but in life as well. So just having everybody there, as far as my grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, it's just you can look in the stands and when you see everybody, it gives you that extra push, and that's something that I really wanted to keep with me because I know if I went a couple hours away or say a different state, I knew the support wasn't going to be there. But they'll still make the trip. Like you said, if I was in Arizona, they'd drive out to Arizona.
Yeah, I could see Joey there heading out to Tempe, trying to keep the gabagool in a freezer. I could see it.
With the Cioffi van.
with the pitchfork on the back. We got to let people know, we're extra proud of you, Anthony, because Jonathan Dayton High School, that's where I played football. That's where your uncle played football. Mm-hmm. And at least from you and me, I mean, they really grow them handsome out of that school. I don't know. They skipped your uncle's year, I guess, but that's something that we have to look into. I mean, really something going on there. But Jonathan Dayton, the signer of the Declaration of Independence, the only person to sign all four of the great state papers, by the way. But I believe only one player has ever gone to the NFL from Jonathan Dayton, and hey, looking forward, why not? I mean, you're a guy that you have the speed, you have the work ethic, you have the athletic ability, but I think more than anything, you're in the right spot at the right time all the time. I mean, you just seem to have a nose for the ball, and like I've always heard, to paraphrase quotes I've heard in the past, athletes are great and potential's great, but give me a ball player any day, and I think you're a ball player that you could go after the ball. Is that the goal now, an NFL career?
Yeah, that is the goal. That's we're taking the initial steps to begin that the next chapter, as we're calling it.
I mean, it would be exciting. I know you're. I mean, obviously, you live in Jets and Giants land. Could keep you close. Your uncle's a Viking fan, unfortunately, so I'm really hoping you're on the Bears. But that's a whole nother story.
No, I'm a Vikings fan. I'm joining his bandwagon with them.
I don't know, from scarlet to purple, right? But you look forward here of what you want to happen, and I think no matter what happens, you've already made your mark. You're a Christian athlete. You're not afraid to. People say wear their faith on their sleeve. Well, you wear it on your arm. Right. Tell everybody about that. Right. You wear it right on your arm with ink.
Right. I do have a couple tattoos. My father, when I was younger, he always tell me this Bible verse. And it's, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's something that I really kept with me as I was growing up. And for my high school years, I actually had customized cleats where it said "Play for Him" on the back of them. And I actually have that tattooed on me. So it was something I wanted to not really show off, but it's something more for me because it's something that stuck with me from once he said it.
That's amazing, and it really is. And especially that's got to pick you up on days. Hey, listen, it gets tough. Anybody who's played football on any level,
Yeah,
that's
100%.
not standing around, hitting a golf ball. I mean, you're getting smashed pretty much on every play, and let alone what people don't see in the practices and in the summer and everything else. Those tough days, whether it's football or life, you think of that and think of that gift that we have, that unbelievable gift. I mean, that keeps you going because it's nothing compared to what Jesus went through.
Right.
Yeah, so, and we appreciate you doing that, Anthony. Now, I got to ask you, too, you're not the only Anthony Cioffi, and there's a great story there as far as this great country that we have and this lineage of your family, just a tight-knit group that sticks together, whether through athletics or otherwise and everything else. Tell us about that special man in your life also named Anthony.
Oh, my grandfather, he's a tremendous individual, selfless as it gets. I mean, just for him, he'll be doing all the dirty work, and I'm like, Grandpa, what are you doing? Like, he's carrying big boxes. He's fixing stuff in it around his house. He's going back and forth from the deli to his house. He's someone where I want to model myself as getting older, because he's such a strong man. And coming from Italy at 18, it wasn't easy. And I give him all the credit in the world, because forget about football, that was life, and it hit him real hard at a young age. So he had no money, not even a place to stay, but he ended up getting in with a pizzeria and living upstairs. So he actually lied to the guy and said he could make pizzas and do all that stuff. So he's been out to seek the American dream from the moment he touched the U.S.
Well, that's amazing, especially now with some of the things we're seeing as far as illegal immigration and some of the political issues in this country right now, to see that great legal immigration story of your grandfather. And I think you hit it on the head, Anthony, when you say forget about football. I mean, these lessons apply to whether you work in the restaurant business, whether you any job, or just your life in general. This is like how you conduct yourself day in and day out. And it's not easy. No one's going to say it's easy, but that's what makes it special, when people like yourself and people like your grandfather do the right thing when nobody's watching, or do the right thing when you know what, you just might be too tired to do it sometime.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. Hey, favorite moment at Rutgers? Can you even pinpoint one as far as, let's say, personally and team-wise?
Ooh. Personally, I mean, there are so many moments. I'd have to say, playing-wise, going out and going to Louisville and having that sack strip fumble with Bridgewater, that was something that kind of gave me a jump start to my career. And as far as playing and stuff with team-wise, I feel the Michigan win was big, because right at the end of the game, everybody stormed the field, and it was a moment where it's like, wow, like we just took down Michigan. Coming into the Big Ten, we're first year there, and we're here to make some noise.
Well, you had a great career, and again, it went fast for everybody, and you said it went fast for you too. But we are very excited to see what happens with you as you move forward, and really. Thank you so much for being with us, Anthony. We appreciate it, and we wish you all the best. And we're going to be tracking you, obviously, and hoping that the football career is not over.
Right, that's the main goal. I appreciate you having me. And
I believe the Bears are on the clock, so we're going to see. We're going to see what happens here, one way or another. But I think any of those 32 cities, it would be their honor to have you, and we hope that's how it goes. Anthony Cioffi, Rutgers standout, great strong safety, possibly on the way to the NFL. And we're going to talk to him again, I hope, here on the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks, Anthony.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
For more on Anthony Cioffi, head to AnthonyCioffiFootball.com. Now it's time for Sarah Palin news, headlines, and more about Governor Palin. Palin calls out Walmart on a bad move, and the American people respond. Palin takes the pulse of the Christmas season around America, including one Christmas video you just can't miss. The governor makes a splash at the Seahawks-Rams game in Seattle. Palin stands up for our veterans suffering from PTSD and other post-service problems. Silly celebrities still think Trump didn't win. And Palin remembers Carol Ryan and Doug McMarlin. And I'd like to say a quick word about Doug. Really a wonderful man, a nice man. He helped me out with something for a friend who was sick at the time a little while back, and I know that he will be missed by so many. We wish nothing but the best to Doug McMarlin's family and friends during this tough time. To read about all of these stories, you can visit the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. And to see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page. Follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and check out sarahpack.com.
Now let's head to the crow's nest. Here's Tanya Crow.
Thanks, Kevin. I am so happy to be a part of this program, I just have to say. It's really been a true joy. So I was thinking about some topics for this week, and I just kept coming back to the feeling of pain and just seeing that there is a lot of darkness, a lot of fear of the unknown for some of the people that are going into this new administration with a lot of trepidation. I understand that. A lot of pain and suffering in the world. It brought me to a lesson that I learned a long, long time ago, and it always sticks with me, and that is that the greatest way to remove darkness is by turning on the light. The analogy kind of makes me think about if there's a room that is completely pitch black and you light one candle, that room is lit up. It may not be super bright. You may not be able to see the entire room in its entirety, the whole picture. But that darkness that did exist has disappeared, that complete blackness. And I thought about how to turn on the light. There's so many different ways, but one of the ways is to be appreciative, to activate gratitude and appreciation. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family and my friends and my colleagues, for this nation, for the ability to even do this show and all that that takes, that I woke up this morning. And I really am grateful for the direction that this country is now taken. And when the slogan of Donald J. Trump's campaign was "Make America Great Again," and to feel the energy that's behind something that talks about action versus hope and change, stronger together. These are concepts, these are ideas, but where's the action? So I wanted to commit to an action for this coming week that will bring light, not only to my own life, but into the lives of others, to really go outside of myself and to do something for other people. And so there's a beautiful children's charity called Spirituality for Kids that I'm going to donate my money to. I'm going to donate my time to. That's the commitment I'm going to make for this week. And I wanted to challenge, to inspire, to support, to encourage, to suggest. Number one, to turn on the light in your lives by just taking a moment or two and really think about what you have and be appreciative of it. Speak out loud the gratitude that you have for the things in your life. And number two, to commit to going outside of yourself and doing something for another, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's a charity, and make a difference in someone else's life in that way. Till next time, this is Tanya Crow with Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tanya Crow on Mama Grizzly Radio. More from the Crow's Nest next week. Now, on target with Kelly Carlson.
Thanks, Kevin. So, a knife versus a firearm for self-defense. Now, this is a subject that is often discussed and debated, especially with women who are not comfortable with firearms, which is completely understandable. I meet a lot of women that feel that way, and a lot of them carry a knife. Now, if I could just offer my own opinion in this, being married to a knife maker, but also being very versed in knife fighting myself, I don't recommend women really carrying a straight blade in particular for self-defense. If women do any sort of self-defense training, I think they will find out very quickly that we aren't as strong, we have weaker wrists, we have weaker hands, and our reach typically isn't as long. I had a situation in 2012, I had a stalking situation for a year, and there was one particular night where I had a blade on me and something happened, and I was afraid. I was very afraid. But I found myself getting rid of the knife, and I will tell you why. At that moment, I didn't understand where that line was because I wasn't physically being assaulted yet. And it wasn't clear to me, when do I pull a knife out? I don't want this guy to see it, but I also don't want him that close to me because he has so much of the advantage in that situation that close to me. We would have to be in a physical scuffle for the most part for me to deploy and use my blade. I don't want that to happen. It dawned on me at that moment I'd rather have a firearm. Also, the legality of a blade is a felony. And of course I'm going to conceal it for the most part, which doesn't make the legality of the situation any better. I highly recommend if a woman is going to carry a knife, she take a close look at the retention of the blade. I would recommend a pistol grip punch blade of some kind because a straight blade, it's going to be taken out of your hands most likely. You don't want to get that close to an assailant where you're going to use a knife. You want that extra distance. You don't want him in your reactionary gap. I mean, it's curtains for the most part, not every single time. But I'm not going to roll the dice. I definitely recommend women look into a pistol grip knife if they absolutely insist on carrying one. If not, I really think a firearm is your best bet for safety. Now, what comes with that is a tremendous amount of responsibility. You have to be good, you have to be proficient, you have to know how the mechanism works, and most importantly, you have to practice your safety. But you know what? Nothing about self-defense is easy. Nothing about it. But it is worth it to be safe, not only for yourself, but for your family and everybody around you. This is Kelly Carlson for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in for more On Target next week. It's time for the Millennial Forecast. Here's Sarah Hagmeyer.
Thank you, Kevin. Even after the election, many liberals are still coping with their loss. They want to use the "my dog ate my homework" excuse and continue to play the blame game. But sorry, cupcakes, elections don't have participation trophies. I've seen celebrities this week create a video for the electors to ask them to pretty much vote for anyone but Donald Trump. Celebrities, the people that are pretty out of touch with the common person, as quoted by Mark Wahlberg. Those Hollywood stars live in a liberal bubble, like the college students that live on their college campus. Yet they are the voters who are shamelessly devoted to their social causes and base all of their opinions off the typical liberal identity. The problem is they fail to acknowledge the greater half of America, the folks who voted for Donald Trump. That's why they are still struggling to accept the election results. The popular vote really doesn't count when the majority of those votes come from two of America's largest cities. What's even more laughable than making a pity video was the fact that they continue to blame Russia for intervening the election. Secrets that the DNC didn't want voters to know were actually exposed for the public. Americans learned how Bernie Sanders, who was basically worshipped by millennials, was completely rigged against in the primaries. We also found out that Hillary Clinton had closet policies that no one except her donors would know. So much important information that was concealed. Yet the Russians still haven't received a thank you. A spokesperson from Russia even said that we need to show proof that they hacked into our system, or the claim is pretty much invalid. Yet as Americans, we still haven't seen that proof. But we know one thing: liberals, millennials, and Democrats alike are using this threat to fuel their fear and ongoing distraught, and to continue to make Trump supporters look like crazy, Putin-obsessed nobodies. We can only forecast more excuses from the party of brainwashed pansies. For Mama Grizzly Radio, I'm Sarah Hagmeyer, and that was your Millennial Forecast.
And next week, we'll have a new edition of the Millennial Forecast right here on the Palin Update. Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
Christmas is always a time to reflect and be thankful. This year, I am so very thankful that Hillary Clinton is not the president-elect. Praise God for this Christmas miracle. How about that? America has another Christmas miracle to be thankful for. I mean, who needs Christmas presents when you've got Donald Trump as the president-elect? Of course, there are many American Christmas stories that we can reflect on and be thankful for, not just this year. This is going to add to our legacy of those Christmas stories where we suddenly heard Merry Christmas a whole lot more in the stores and shopping and our malls. I don't know about you, but I'm hearing Merry Christmas a lot more, and doggone it, I like it. It's awesome. Everyone is saying Merry Christmas. And I'm cracking up. I'm shopping with my kids and my husband and my mom, and we're laughing because everyone says Merry Christmas right now. And it's amazing. But what is important is to reflect upon our legacy. And I'm thinking George Washington and his soldiers crossing the Delaware, Christmas 1776. What about Christmas 1777, just a year later in Valley Forge? That, my goodness, coming from such a victorious Delaware crossing, Christmas 1777 in Valley Forge, things couldn't have looked bleaker for Washington and the Continental Army. These weary men who had come to Valley Forge in hope of respite and food, nutritious food and winter clothes, got nothing. Congress didn't have the money. They couldn't give them anything. So Christmas 1777, the troops dined on a meal of rice and vinegar, forced to bind their bleeding, frostbitten feet with rags. Washington viewed each one of these men as heroes and expected a deep and profound gratitude and awe to those who remained with him in Valley Forge during that terrible winter of 1777. Just like that winter, this winter could have been a terrible, frightening, and very scary time of year if Hillary Clinton would have been our president-elect. I'm just tickled with the fact that Donald Trump is our president-elect. But when I think about what our legacy has fought for to get us to this point of our blessings and of our abundance for our nation, we have real hope. Our hope is in God, the blessings that God has given us, divinely inspired in our nation. He's blessed us. He's blessed our nation. And there's story after story from our history, pilgrims to Washington's Delaware crossing, to Abraham Lincoln, World War II, and our nation continues to reap the blessings of faith-filled and hope-filled people. We must never forget that an attitude of gratitude in this day and age can go a long way to combat the naysayers and negativists and anti-constitutionalists that are going to fight us every single day of the upcoming Trump presidency. I am so blessed. I know you're blessed, but I am so appreciative and blessed to be an American. I am in awe of my legacy. I thank God every day when I kneel with my children at night. But this is a new season. This Christmas starts a new time of optimism for our nation and our people. My goodness, what an opportunity for us. Just like our legacy, Washington's men, they were warriors. Whether it was Christmas fighting the Hessians in 1776, or Christmas bleakly in a cold Valley Forge, warriors for liberty. That's what unites us. That is what unites us all, living free with that light burning in our hearts that the cause of the American ideal was so much more inspiring that we couldn't imagine going the next step that would fundamentally transform us in the wrong direction. This holiday season, tell your neighbor, Merry Christmas. Be optimistic. Do something you wanted to do but have been hesitant to do because you haven't felt that optimism. My goodness, I am just so excited. This is a start to a new season for America, and you get to be part of it. You help bring this on. But the fight doesn't stop there. We don't, on Christmas night, when we put our dishes in the dishwasher and our leftovers in the fridge, it's not over. It's just beginning. And I can't wait to start a new year with you guys fighting in our own trenches, our own version of crossing the Delaware, because we happen to come upon a new year, a new time of hope, a new time of renewed spiritual fervor, of our renewed thankfulness and attitude of gratitude for our blessings, a renewed sense of can-do spirit with Donald Trump at the end of January coming in as our next president. Thank you so much for listening to Mama Grizzly. You are my gift. Mama Grizzly Radio, that's my gift. Thank you for listening to Liberty and Legacy. Thank you for sharing this with your friends. Thank you for tweeting this out. You can always tweet me at Tamara Colbert, hashtag Mama Grizz Radio. Kevin and I and our new young ladies. I can say that because I'm a Gen Xer and we have these fabulous new hosts and I'm so excited about them. You guys, this is going to be a fantastic 2017. Mama Grizzly Radio, I can say we wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and anything else that you celebrate because God is good. He still has his hand over our nation and he still loves our people, even though sometimes things seem dark. But you know what? Liberty is up to each and every one of us, and I'm proud to serve on the battlefield of ideas with each and every one of you. May you be blessed. May you be strengthened. May you find rest for the weary election season we have just completed, because the fight continues next year, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Mama Grizzly Radio. I am Tamara Colbert with Liberty and Legacy for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy, the Millennial Forecast, On Target, and the Crow's Nest is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, at Tanya Yoga 13, at S Hagmeyer 2, and at FBRABQ. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Tamara Colbert, Tanya Crow, Kelly Carlson, Sarah Hagmeyer, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Anthony Cioffi, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, Full Battle Rattle. Visit Facebook.com/Full Battle Rattle ABQ. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update, right here on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year.